and Katrina here on Homestead. So we're going to do a Q&A today. We have actually questions from our viewers.
We have cues.
We do from our viewers. So I think we have like 84 subscribers right now or something like that. And thank you, friends and family, because that's who it is. So we'll go through some of these questions, and then if anybody has additional ones after this, you can send them in also, however you want to.
All right.
All right, so our first question is, you said you were planning this for a while. How long were you actually planning it, and how are you able to do it now?
Forever.
So, Katrina and I have been together 22 years. And in that time, we always knew that we wanted to live more remote like this.
Simpler.
So, we bought our house in Pennsylvania, and we knew that was not going to be our forever house, so to speak. We always had a dream of a log cabin type thing in the woods. This one is not a log cabin, but it's cedar sided, so it's wood anyway. But yeah, we'd been planning this for a long time. So the fortunate thing for us in how we're able to do this is that Katrina worked at UPS her whole life, from like birth till 6 months ago.
Right. 27, almost 28 years.
Almost 28 years. And I was there for a number of years also before my my accident and my injury. So with that, when we were getting what's called an MIP every year, a management incentive program,
Yes.
It was paid to us in stock, and part stock, part cash if you wanted it. But we always took it in stock, and we always just kept reinvesting it and rolling it and
dividend reinvestments.
Yeah, dividend reinvestments and stuff like that.
Never sold any of it.
No, never sold any of it. And that's our income now. We're able to live off of our dividends. And then the other thing that helped us do this was that for probably the past 15 years, every year Katrina got a raise at UPS, we actually invested
that went into my 401k.
Right. So we invested that money. We never took that money and started living off of that. We lived at the same income for the past 15 years.
Right.
Like we just did. And so we budgeted and saved and
but we're not using that money right now either, because I'm not old enough.
No.
We don't have my pension because I'm not old enough.
Nope, me either. Like we don't have anything, from me coming in except for my dividend reinvestment stuff. So that's how we're able to do it. Now, if we moved here, one of us or both of us would probably have to try to work online or something, and we don't know if that would work because our internet is kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
Or get a job in town, which I don't know how we would do that in the winter because you can't get back and forth very easily.
Yeah, you don't be able to have a job in town for like 6 months out of the year.
I mean, there are things we could do. We could cut and harvest firewood. You get a firewood permit, and we can harvest 20 cords of firewood a year, and we could sell that if we wanted to, but that wouldn't. We have a trailer. We could probably haul stuff. There's not a lot that we want to do. I mean, we don't want to work in that kind
Well, that
of
was
sense.
the whole idea, though, of doing this, was so that we didn't have to work, especially working like a conventional job.
Right. So when we say, work now, our work is here on the homestead. It's everyday chores and living and stuff like that. And that was
when the spring hits, all the gardening.
Yeah, all the gardening's going to start.
And then hunting season to get meat for our freezers. Yeah.
So when we say people ask, plan this for years. Yeah, we did long time. But we were smart with what we did and able to do what we're doing now because of what we did for the last 20 years.
Right.
So that was the first question. Next question. How did we pick Deer Lodge, Montana? So,
Magic 8 Ball?
Kind of, yeah. I probably for 2 years before we actually found this place, we were just researching on the internet constantly, trying to find a remote off-grid property that had all the specifications that we wanted.
I wanted septic.
Yep.
Oh, so I wanted indoor plumbing.
Yep.
And water.
A well.
Yeah.
And so it's really, really difficult to find an off-grid property that has both of those elements. A lot of times you'll find they have either a septic and no well, or a well and no septic. And location of where it was, we didn't want any neighbors. You know, so sometimes you might find a really cool place, but there's like neighbors all around, or even within 5 miles was too close for us.
But then, I mean, we found that one property that had, I think it had septic but didn't have a well, but it was pretty high on a mountain, and we weren't sure
if we could dig a well.
Right, if we would actually hit water.
Yeah, but we weren't looking specifically in Montana, to be honest with you. We were looking everywhere: Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, Alaska. I wanted to go to Alaska because you actually get paid to live in Alaska from the Alaska pipeline.
They also charge you an arm and a leg for groceries.
But Katrina said it was too far. So
nobody could come visit us.
We cut out Alaska, and we just happened to end up in Montana. And the weird thing is, we found 3 different properties in Montana that we actually liked. The very first one was a log cabin. It was just a shell that was a, it
wasn't
structure.
Finished on the inside.
Wasn't finished on the inside, and it was actually over near the Bitterroot Mountains on the western side of the state, and it looked like it was going to be developed around there. There were like some hunting camps, and it looked like things were going to be kind of close. Our realtor did drive all the way out there and checked it out for us and FaceTime with us, and it was really cute. That one didn't have a well though either. It had a cistern. Right. So we were kind of concerned about that. So we eliminated that one. Then the next one we found in Montana that we actually put an offer on was in Anaconda, which is like a half an hour from here. Mm-hmm. And that's the one that Katrina just said it didn't have a well. Right. But it had a septic. It did have a small solar panel. So our realtor drove all the way out to that one for us too and checked it out. And we actually ended up putting an offer on that one with the hopes of digging a well and everything was going to be okay. But somebody outbid us and we lost that one. And then just coincidentally, the third one ended up being in Montana also. Yeah. Deer Lodge, Montana. So that's how we ended up here. And this property here, we had looked at it online, I don't know, like 6 months prior. And then we kind of looked at it again. And then we kind of looked at it again. And then we were like, let's just see if our realtor will go out there, Clara. And she drove all the way out here and video chatted with us.
She got lost on the way out here, didn't she? Like,
yep, she ended up at the Continental Divide where we snowmobiled to a couple weeks ago. But we're very thankful that she came all the way out because this is the one. Yep. This is where we're supposed to be. So that's how we ended up in Deer Lodge, Montana. What was the property like before we started to work on it? So yeah, odd is a good word.
Well, because if you looked at the video of that one, you kind of gave the tour of the outside and everything else. Yep. It was 3 buildings.
The main house.
Right. And then a kitchen.
The summer kitchen.
And
the bunkhouse.
Bunkhouse. And then behind that, the generator shed.
Yeah. So all these like little pods kind of. So it wasn't livable 4 seasons. It was only a 3-season cabin, first of all. Bottom line. So we had a lot of work we had to do. We had to join the main house to the summer kitchen. Which
people can probably see, maybe over your shoulder a little bit.
Straight behind us. Before winter, because there's no way we would have been able to get through winter going in and out of the front door into the summer kitchen, trying to keep it heated, trying to keep the water from freezing in there.
And you couldn't eat in the kitchen, so you would have had to bring the food outside into the main house. So it was set up kind of strange. And then it only ran off of a gas generator. So the whole house is wired to a gas generator, which is good for us now because that's our backup to the backup to the backup. Because we put in the solar as our main source for energy. And then we have the propane generator as the backup to the solar. And then if we had some kind of catastrophic failure with our inverter or lightning struck our solar panel or something, we could actually run off of a gas generator, plug into that. And we do have 6 5-gallon gas cans that we keep filled all the time, all through the winter anyway. Because we run our washing machine off the generator right now as well. So, before we moved in, there wasn't much here. Like, the garage wasn't here. We built the garage. But the prior owner only stayed here, I don't know, 3 weeks? 6
weeks total.
Yeah.
Out of a year. In any given year. And he wasn't a hunter either. He was I think he was like a trauma surgeon. And they lived in Texas and they just wanted to get away. And they just came here and decompressed and unplugged, and it was just their summer place. So before we got here, we had a lot of work to do. when did we purchase the property? So we actually purchased it August of 2020. So not this past, the one before. And we bought it a year before we even planned to move because of all of the construction that had to be done. The garage had to be done. The addition had to be done. The solar had to be put in. The generator had to be installed. So we budgeted ourselves a whole year before we actually even moved here in September of 2021, this past September.
Yes.
So I know there's the next question is, how did you find workers to get the solar up, etc.? So the gentleman that built our house, this house, back in 96, was the one that we actually reached out to because he knew the property, he knew where the water lines were, the electric, this, that, the other thing.
And we thought that would be a good idea.
And we thought it would be a good idea. So we reached out to him. Right after we bought the place, I came out and met with the home inspector, did the home inspection, met with that same builder, and talked to him about, we want to put up the garage, we want to do the addition, this other thing. Thought we were all on board, everything was great. And the work just wasn't getting done. I don't know if it's because we weren't here. I'm not sure if it was his reputation. I don't know. But work was not getting done. Nothing really got done.
Well, the solar people did their job.
Mostly, almost all of it until we got here.
Right. The only thing that wasn't done with the solar was the backup generator.
True. That's right.
We had power.
Right. So we did when we got here. We did have power when we got here. But as far as the addition for hooking the house and the kitchen together, bottom line is the contractor that was supposed to do it didn't get anything done that he really was supposed to get done in any kind of timely fashion. Right. It was becoming winter, and we knew we had to get the addition done. So
all our stuff was sitting outside.
We looked like Sanford and Sons. Like all of our stuff was outside because the garage wasn't done. We delayed our pods from getting here because there was nowhere to put stuff because the garage wasn't done. Right. It was just a mess. It was an absolute mess, and it was horrible. And we were so worried that we were going to go into winter and not be ready. And we found two very local contractors. And
they were great.
They saved our lives. They saved our lives. They still are on the books for completing, the rest of it this spring, which is right around the corner.
But they were coming out here every day until they literally couldn't make it up the road.
Until it snowed. Yeah. And, they were here on weekends. They were just awesome, and we can't thank them enough for getting the garage done. There was a lot of stuff that we had to source and do that was supposed to be done by the original contractor. The cement floor in the garage was supposed to be done by him. I had to source that. I found somebody local to do that within, 3 or 4 days. I found somebody.
The garage door.
Yeah, remember the giant garage bay door. The contractor was supposed to have had that done. He didn't even order it.
And so with all of the supply chain issues and everything else, every time you called and you said, hey, I need whatever, they said, oh, it's, 6 months out. So we actually found a garage door that was
a special order that somebody canceled on.
Right.
And we were able to get that for
a really good price. Nice garage that's insulated.
Yeah, but we had to drive all the way to Bozeman to pick that up on our little tiny trailer, a 16-foot garage door, 8 by 16-foot garage door.
Hanging off the back of the trailer.
Oh my God, it was hysterical, and it was a long day. But, we had to source a lot of the stuff ourselves because this contractor just dropped the ball, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. So, but we can't say enough about the two guys that ended up helping us out, get closed in for the winter, got the garage closed in for the winter. Everything got done that needed to get done so that we could limp through, and we made it. Yeah. We made it. Spring's right around the corner, knocking on the door. So that was a fun question. All right. So, can you get to town with your snowmobile?
It depends.
So, kinda, yeah. 3/4 of the way for sure.
So it's about 11 miles to town?
12 miles.
Okay, so 12 miles from here to the center of town. Yeah. Obviously none of it's paved until like the last couple miles. 2 miles?
Yeah, 2 miles.
So we can get the snowmobile almost all the way down, but where everybody drives to go to the dump, that's actually maintained. So by the time we get to that, the snowmobile says there's no snow, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So really cool. The people in town, the people of Deer Lodge are just
incredible.
They're the nicest people.
Yeah.
And you know, we make phone calls and it's like, hey, we're going to be on town. We want to come to town on such and such a day. We have a couple friends that will meet us, pick us up, take us into town. We store a vehicle in town
At a friend's house.
Yeah. And we go around, we do what we want to do. They drive us back up to the snowmobile and we're good to go.
Yeah. We probably could leave the vehicle parked where we stage the snowmobile if we wanted to, but it would be sitting there all winter and that would be kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, but the second part of that is right now, things are a little sketchy. We're supposed to go to town next Friday. Today is Thursday. We're supposed to go a week from today. And Katrina took a ride out on the snowmobile today.
And it's been really warm for the last, week?
Yeah.
It's
like all of a sudden winter just ended and spring is coming now. We're not like, we're fine with that.
Well, but I'm here, everybody says, Montanans will say it's a false spring. So, maybe we'll get hit again. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But right now we're at a spot where a lot of snow is melted.
And we can't.
I can't, we
can't get all the way out.
But I don't know if I can get the snowmobile out again the way it stands right now. So it's going to be interesting the next
And the other thing is, so a lot of snow is melted, so some of the roads are bare, but some of them still have deep snow on them, so we can't really take the Ranger out because we'll high bottom out on some of the places where the snow is still deep. So it's, we'll see what happens in the next week or so, and we don't have to go to town next Friday. We're planning on it, but if we got to change it, we change it. Yeah. So the answer right now is, we don't know if we can get out.